I guess just introductions. My name is Chelsea. I am a senior at UF in nursing school, so if any of you want to do anything, I guess, I don't know.
I'm a second year studying finance.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Devin. I have a name, yeah. Okay.
I'm Michael. I'm in the seminary. I'm doing my pastoral year at St Augustine's, which is the Catholic Student Center at UF.
Sister?
I'm Sister Anna. I work at St Augustine Church.
I'm Natalie. I'm a first year grad student studying speech therapy at UF.
I'm Sandy.
Oh.
Okay, I'm Sandy. I'm really old. I'm one of the
I'm Ashley. Thanks. Also really old. One of the other campus ministers. I'm Anna. I work at the Student Center, so I'm not old.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm a senior. I'm a biology major in education.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm a junior at University of Florida, studying microbiology.
I'm Margaret. I'm a senior elementary education major.
And I'm Gianna. I'm a senior studying religion and education.
Oh wait, did y'all? Okay, so we're done. Okay, awesome. So the first thing we're gonna have you do is split up into two teams. So I don't know how many of you guys are there. We can just like split down the middle, right? Like where Elizabeth is. Okay. Wait, is that enough? Okay. All right. So we're gonna start off with an icebreaker for the day. It's called Eat Dat Bag. It's not that bag. It's Eat Dat Bag. So just to make that clear, Eat That Bag. And the point of the game is pretty much to eat that bag. So one person from each team, it could be like whoever you guys can choose, will come up and represent their team.
Okay. I'm Marissa. I'm in 7th grade. I'm a dancer. I do dance.
First? That side?
Sure, whichever.
Do it
Oh,
side.
wow, Paul.
See that you're related to me because you know.
I'm Laura. I'm in 9th grade, and I have 9 siblings.
I'm Jane, and I'm in 8th grade, and I also have 9 siblings.
And they are.
You don't have to be related, right?
I'm Jason. I'm in 8th grade, and I edged the block of pictures.
My name is Mercy. I'm in 10th grade, and you just made Jason eat the block of cream cheese.
Thank you.
I played volleyball for 5 years.
I'm Abby. I'm in 9th grade, and I love coffee.
I'm Paul. I'm in 10th grade. I play soccer.
I'm Joshua. I'm in 9th grade, and I love being near the ocean.
Yeah.
My name is Jeremy, or Remy, depending if you know me or not, or it's comfort for you. I'm in it's kind of complicated what grade I'm in because something came up. So I'm technically supposed to be in 11th, but because my mom needs to do something for the rest of the kids, she needed to hold me back into 10th for it. And I love gaming, with my 3 favorite games being Pokemon, Overwatch, and Minecraft.
I'm Maggie, and I'm in 8th grade, and I have 7 siblings.
Or 6 siblings, and I'm part of 1 sib.
Okay, that's next.
I'm Julia, and I'm in 9th grade, and I like speech and debate.
I'm Patrick. I'm in 7th grade, and I have a sister.
This is a fun one.
times so
Ella.
much.
She likes tuna.
No, she hates tuna. Now.
No, she.
She still makes it.
I'm still Huffman. I'm in 6th grade. Go High Springs Community School, and I like to cook tuna. And I'm still going to eat tuna.
Awesome. Thank you guys. It's really nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out. Our next activity is praise and worship actually. So if you guys want to just like stand up and we can go in this area. About college. It comes from St Madeleine Catholic and it's one of his favorite forms of prayer. Like it invites people to use like their imagination and like, pretty much their own way of thinking instead of people telling you how to pray or like just simply reading something in the Bible. So how nation prayer works is you take like say a scripture passage in the Bible that you enjoy, or just some like reflective reading that you just want to pray about or like want to know more about or pray with. You take this passage, and today we're going to use Matthew chapter 14, 22 to 33, and that's the walking on water, if you guys have heard of it. Like Jesus walks on water, and he says, Peter, come to me, and Peter gets out of the water, and he like gets out, starts walking, and then eventually he starts to drown, because like he gets scared, he gets afraid. And if you want me to repeat it, it's Matthew chapter 14, 22 to 33. And if you need help finding it, you can just ask one of us to just raise your hand if you need help finding it. Matthew 14, 22 to 33. So I'm just going to read the passage now. You don't have to follow along. You can just listen for this time, and you can read it again afterwards after I explain what a nation prayer is. So yeah, if you guys can just close your eyes for a second. Yeah, you can kneel, you can sit, anything you want to do. Just close your eyes, and then take a deep breath in, deep breath out. So Matthew chapter 14. Then he made the disciples get into the boat and proceed him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come out to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." So St. Ignatius, in the Ignatian form of prayer, he invites us to enter into the scene, to become a part of that scene. Like he asks us to imagine ourselves in the story with like as much detail as we can muster. And like in order to do that, he asked us to use our five senses, which are like sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, like everything. And first you ask God, like, okay, to begin this prayer, ask him to help you. Like, can you help me answer this into this time using my 5 senses. And then you think to yourself, what do I see? What do I see in this passage? Do I see the disciples around me in this passage? Do I know what the boat looks like? Is it a big boat? Is it a small boat? Like, is there waves crashing around? Is it dark outside? So that's sight. Imagine what you see around you. And then you do hearing. And then you imagine, what are you hearing? Are you hearing thunder? In this scene, are you hearing the disciples like freaking out and yelling as like Peter gets out of the boat, like, no, like you're crazy, like get back inside? Or do you hear like, I don't know, some seagulls or something around? I don't know what's in there. So just use your hearing. So you have sight and you have sound. And then you have smell. Do you smell the salt water? Do you smell fish? The disciples, a lot of them are fishermen. Do you smell that strong stench? Do you smell their body odor? Do they smell bad? Like they don't shower that much? Just use your imagination. God doesn't call you to imagine like weird stuff. Like He'll guide your prayer. Like if anything bizarre comes up, like don't ignore it. Just be like, okay, cool. I smell like sweat. Like cool. Like don't ignore that. Don't just like take it as it is in your prayer. So that's smell. And then you have touch. Are you wearing anything scratchy? Like, are you wearing a long robe? Are you cold and wet? Like, you're in a boat and it's storming and the water is crashing over you. Like, are you tired? Are you exhausted from following Jesus? Like, all around Galilee. So yeah, that's touch. Like, what do you feel? Let's see. Two still. Okay, so now that you have used all your senses, now you have the scene set. And then you can start imagining, okay, am I one of the disciples on the boat? Am I Jesus? Am I Peter? Am I outside of the boat? Am I just watching the scene? It's kind of like your own take. No one has their own specific role in prayer. Like God can lead you wherever He wants to lead you. So yeah, let the story play out in your imagination with as little judging on your part as possible. Like I said, if something bizarre comes up and you're praying, you're like, whoa, like, that's not prayer. Like, that's just me thinking about nachos. Like, sometimes that happens. I'll be praying and I'll be like, oh, nachos. I try not to, like, describe that because sometimes God is trying to show me something and I'm just, like, pushing it away. So, like, don't try to judge it. Just, like, take it as it is. Like, you could be thinking about nachos. I don't know. So, yeah. For example, like, if you notice the disciples more than Jesus, like, that's okay. Like, maybe He wants you to focus on them. Allow God to just lead you in your imagination, almost as if it's a movie, like, except you're a part of it. So that's, like, the way I think about it. So now I'm just going to have some time for you guys to read it by yourselves. You can read it again. It's Matthew chapter 14, 22 to 33. And I really encourage you guys to just use your 5 senses, sight, sound, hearing, smell, and touch, as you read through it. Read it slowly, as the movie is playing out in your head, just like enter into it. And as you're reading it, take note of what you notice. Like, what emotions are you feeling? Like, are you scared as you're thinking about this passage? Are you excited? Are you just really not feeling being there? Just, you're not really, you're kind of indifferent. Like, pay attention to, like, what God brings up in your prayer. And if you have a journal, like, write those down, or take mental note if you don't have a journal. So yeah, and another thing to point out is that you may have heard this story, like, 1,000 times, or maybe this is the first time you've heard it. When you use this prayer, Ignatian prayer, God allows you to see new things, and He reveals new insights to you that you've never seen before. So I encourage you to really just enter into the scene. If you need help finding the Bible verse again, just raise your hand, and we can help you, any of us. So yeah, so everyone just take another deep breath, and then read it on your own. It'll take about like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll come back together to discuss like what we found out in the prayer. So we're going to get into So if you can just kind of separate each other, I guess. So I was a nice one, I guess you can like do that here.